Hey everyone, RDC here to bring you a tutorial on precision alignment, one of the best tools for aligning things. Now, this isn't to be confused with precision, it's precision alignment. So, with precision alignment, most of your controls are going to be in the actual menu up here. First we'll go over is the points tab. So, you're going to be defining anything selected on the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just place that. So 1, 2, 3, and so on. You'll also have additional options up here for placing them at different points. You have the hit position, the coordinate center, which will be defined as the coordinate center of the block, the mass center of the block, or the bounding box center, which is this little smart snap grid. So I recommend enabling these first two checks here, the snapped edges and snapped center. What that'll do is it'll just automatically snap the hit position to the center of the object that you're clicking on. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do. Essentially, the way to think of this is you're going to be moving from point whatever's on the left to whatever's on the right. So your left is your starting position, and your right is your final position. So let me just define, I'm going to move this wheel here. So right click to select the entity, place a point on where you want to move it to, and then you can select another point to define, which would be point 2. Alright, so if you want to move it from your initial point to your final position, you do 1 to 2, and you won't need to reset that once it's done. Additionally, if you hold shift, you can repeat the action. This can be useful for shifting a position multiple different times. And these little green lines here indicate that it's relative to this cube. So when these points move, when the cube moves, these points will move with it. Okay. So I'll also use this to nudge it down a little bit as well. Say if the wheel's too high, you can move relative to it. Something else you can do is using precision alignment to precisely nudge fine units. So normally with precision, you'd be limited to where in the entity you can hit. You're not limited as such with precision alignment. You can actually rotate that in 3D space to align your props differently. So if you want to precisely nudge, you can just set up 2 points and just nudge between it, and it will nudge whatever entity you have selected. So you can either nudge distant entities or whatever. If the distance between the 2 points is too big, one of the tricks you can do is you can press R to open this precision alignment manipulation panel, and then you just go to points. We'll be selecting the first 2 points here, so hold control to select the 2. And you'll just get the center of the points. And what that'll do is that'll set this position up here to the center of these 2 points. And you just click the point you want to set, and it'll say set. And as you see, it moves it to the center of the points here. And you can just repeat this as many times as you need to get finer and finer adjustments. And then you'll just click move entity if you want to move it, and you can shift it as many times as you need. Another thing to go over is actually when you're moving with precision, it's going to keep the rotation of your entity. So you want it to be in the final rotation, you want it to be in when it's actually positioned. Otherwise, you're going to end up with something like this. It remembers the rotation that way. So you can move it like that. The next trick we'll go over with precision alignment is mirroring props. So you've probably noticed I've only placed 2 wheels so far. What we're going to do is we're going to be mirroring these wheels to the other side of the prop. So your first step when mirroring props is to open the menu and click here to define a hit position and hit normal. And you'll know you have one when you have a little green square. Alright? Now, once you have that placed, you need to define the direction you're going to be mirroring across. You can do this by selecting the plane, hit normal. And what you're going to do is you're just going to mirror across the side of the vehicle. Well, click the side you want to mirror across. So what this is going to do, as you can see, it's splitting down the middle. You'll mirror across horizontally. So the next step, you want to select an entity with right click, and then you'll open the precision alignment menu again using R. So that'll open up here. What you're going to do is you're going to go to your rotation functions panel here, select mirror across plane, select the plane you want to mirror across, and then once you're done, you click the rotate entity button. It'll just mirror it across. If you want to duplicate the entity when you mirror it, you hold shift. This can also be repeated as well, so if you hold shift while doing the action, it'll repeat it. it'll also repeat if it duplicates it or not as well, so holding shift won't duplicate it here. The final trick I want to go over is using precision alignment to rotate entities. So if you use precision alignment and select an entity, pressing R to open the menu, and going to rotation, you can see the rotation of an entity. So the way to do this, you have it selected, and you click Get Angles. This will get the current angles of the entity. So as you can see, it's almost to a 90-degree angle, and you can also manipulate the angles here. What I like to do is using this to correct or angle prop precisely to what I want it to be. So say I angle prop to a 45-degree angle. Well, what if I want this to be at, say, a 20-degree angle? So I'll just adjust it. So you can use this to precisely set the angle you want a prop to be rotated at. And as you'll notice, it's rotating around the center. If you want to rotate it around a different position, say this corner here, what you can do is you can select it in the little point selection menu here. So I'll select point 1 and I'll apply some pitch to it. And as you can see, instead of rotating at the center, it rotated where you selected the point. This is useful for, say, if you have a prop that's already positioned. Let me just position this here. You can adjust the angles continuously using this. So I'll just set it on the pitch here. So 30, 40, and as you can see, it's rotating around that point. Alright, this will conclude the basic precision alignment tutorial. Thanks everyone.